1994 was the year you turned 1, but you don't remember a single second of it. Your brain didn't just forget those early memories, it actively and permanently deleted them. And the reason why is actually kind of terrifying. For a long time, we just assumed babies lacked the hardware to store memories. We thought infant brains were like unformatted hard drives, totally incapable of saving data. But science has completely destroyed that theory. It turns out that babies are actually memory-making machines. A 6-month-old can remember faces, learn complex emotional responses, and absorb the sounds of a language faster than any adult could ever dream of. They are constantly recording their environment with incredible precision. So, if they are successfully creating all these high-definition memories, why does your mind go completely blank when you try to recall anything before the age of 3? The answer isn't that the memories just faded away. It is way more dramatic than that. Your brain executed a biological protocol called childhood amnesia, which is basically a deliberate and aggressive wiping of your earliest experiences. To understand why your own mind betrayed you, we have to look inside the rapidly expanding universe of a toddler's skull. The most unexpected culprit behind your missing memories is actually the very thing that makes you smart: explosive brain growth. In the first few years of your life, your brain develops at a pace that is honestly hard to wrap your head around. It is rapidly generating millions of new neurons in the hippocampus, which is a tiny seahorse-shaped structure deep in your brain that acts like a printing press for your memories. Scientists call this process neurogenesis. You can think of your early brain like a bustling city undergoing a massive renovation. To make room for new skyscrapers, high-speed rails, and better infrastructure, the construction crews have to demolish the old foundational buildings. As your baby brain churns out all these shiny new neurons to help you learn how to walk and talk, those new cells literally disrupt and overwrite the existing memory circuits. The physical storage space where your first birthday party was kept gets paved over to make room for your new vocabulary. It is a biological trade-off. You had to sacrifice the memories of your earliest moments in order to upgrade your brain's processing power. If your brain did not aggressively wipe that early hard drive, you would never have developed the cognitive capacity to become the functioning adult you are today. But the physical rewriting of your brain is only half the story. The other half involves a profound psychological shift that locks you out of your own past, the invention of language. Before you could speak, you experienced the world entirely through raw senses. You encoded memories as pure feelings, smells, and colours. But right around the age of 3, something magical and destructive happens. You master language and start organising your entire reality using words. Suddenly, your brain upgrades its operating system from a visual format to a linguistic one. The tragedy is that your new word-based brain can no longer read those old pre-verbal files. The memories of your infant years might still be buried in the dark corners of your mind, but you lost the password to access them the moment you learned how to talk. It is a bittersweet realization that the very tool we use to tell our life stories is the exact same tool that erased our opening chapters. If you find the hidden mechanics of your own biology as fascinating as I do, you should definitely hit that subscribe button. We are constantly diving into the weird ways our minds work, and I would love to have you along for the next discovery. Let's take this even deeper into the mechanics of human consciousness. To have an autobiographical memory, a memory you can recall as happening to you, you first need to have a concept of you. This is where things get truly philosophical. For the first year or two of life, babies do not actually realize they are separate entities from their parents or the world around them. If you put a smear of lipstick on a 10-month-old's nose and place them in front of a mirror, they will reach out to touch the reflection thinking it is another baby. They have zero self-recognition. It isn't until somewhere between 18 and 24 months that a toddler will look in that same mirror and touch their own nose. That is the exact moment the ego is born. Before that milestone, your brain simply had nowhere to file personal experiences. It is like trying to write an autobiography before the main character has even been invented. The brain doesn't bother storing long-term, episodic memories because there is no central self to anchor them to. Your earliest experiences were essentially floating in a void, unattached to the timeline of the person you would eventually become. But here is where everything you thought you knew gets turned completely upside down. You might be sitting there right now, vividly recalling a memory from when you were just 2 years old. You remember the pattern of the rug or the smell of the kitchen when you dropped your favorite toy. I hate to break it to you, but there is a massive scientific consensus that those memories are likely complete fabrications. Your brain is lying to you. What you are actually remembering is a photograph you saw years later, or a story your parents told you so many times it became part of your internal narrative. Over time, your incredibly creative brain took those external details, stitched them together with some borrowed emotions, and hallucinated a highly realistic first-person memory. You have essentially invented your own childhood based on secondhand evidence. These memories feel so intensely real that people will swear they are authentic, but under the scrutiny of neurological testing, they completely fall apart. It turns out that your mind is a master of fiction, filling in the blanks of your forgotten past with stories that feel like truth. When you zoom out and look at the grand scheme of human evolution, this aggressive memory wiping protocol starts to look less like a tragic loss and much more like a brilliant survival mechanism. Think of it this way: the world of an infant is intensely overwhelming. To a tiny human, every loud noise is a potential threat. Every moment of hunger feels like a full-blown existential crisis, and the sheer volume of new information is staggering. If we carried the raw, unfiltered emotional intensity of our infancy into adulthood, we would be completely paralyzed by sensory overload and early anxieties. Childhood amnesia acts as a vital psychological shield. It clears away the terrifying, confusing clutter of our most vulnerable years and gives us a clean slate to begin building our true identity. It allows us to step into the world not as fearful, overwhelmed creatures weighed down by the chaotic data of infancy, but as adaptable, forward-thinking humans, ready to learn and conquer. The deletion of your early history wasn't an error in the system, it was the ultimate evolutionary software update. Your brain sacrificed your past to protect your future, giving you the mental clarity needed to navigate a complex and dangerous world. It is the ultimate trade-off, losing the first 3 years of your life to ensure you can actually survive the next 80. And the deeper you dig into the science of memory, the weirder the facts get. For instance, humans aren't the only ones who experience this phenomenon. Infantile amnesia has been heavily documented in rats, mice, and even monkeys, proving it is a deeply ancient biological mechanism that predates our species. Furthermore, while your explicit visual memories are wiped, your olfactory system, your sense of smell, actually bypasses this deletion entirely. This is why a random scent, like a specific brand of sunscreen or the salty sweet smell of Play-Doh, can instantly trigger a visceral, emotional flashback to a time you can't even picture. But here is the part that genuinely blew my mind. Researchers have recently discovered that by stimulating specific neurons in adult mice with lasers, they can actually recover lost infant memories. This suggests that your baby memories might not be entirely erased, but merely locked behind a biological firewall we haven't figured out how to bypass yet. Which brings us to the most profound and mind-bending realization of all. The person you are right now, your deepest fears, your foundational attachments, your baseline level of trust in the universe was almost entirely forged during the first 3 years of your life. Those early interactions physically wired the architecture of your personality, yet you are completely blind to the very events that created you. You are essentially a masterpiece, painted by an artist you'll never meet, built upon a foundation of ghost memories that quietly dictate your behavior from the shadows of your subconscious. The most formative, influential chapters of your entire life story are the only chapters you are permanently forbidden from reading. It is the ultimate paradox of the human condition. We are entirely defined by the moments we have completely forgotten. Every choice you make today is an echo of a 3-year-old's world that you can no longer see. So the next time you look at a baby, remember that they are experiencing a vibrant, intense world that they are destined to completely forget. Now I want to hear from you. What is the absolute earliest memory you think you have? And after watching this, do you still believe it is real? Let me know down in the comments, because I read every single one. If you enjoyed this journey into the bizarre hidden mechanisms of the human brain, please hit that subscribe button and join our community. We have so many more incredible mysteries to explore together. Until next time, keep questioning everything, even your own mind.